Hello there, Caterpillar employees, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Sam, and I moderate these presentations. And in just a second, we'll be joined by Michael Corgiat, one of our Caterpillar-focused financial advisors, and he is going to be going over some great strategies you can use to take the most control of your pension. Before he comes on, though, just a couple quick reminders for you. First and foremost, please be reminded we are not affiliated nor endorsed whatsoever by Caterpillar. We are a completely independent group of financial advisors here. Second, I apologize in advance, but he will not have time today to answer questions after his presentation, but I invite you to still ask away. It's completely anonymous, and I'll make sure either Michael himself or one of our other Caterpillar-focused financial advisors can reach out to you after the presentation to answer or address those concerns with you. And lastly, while he is speaking, you will see me entering some links into the chat. They will guide you to various resources, such as our YouTube and our LinkedIn and our calendar, if you'd like to just simply book an appointment with Michael himself or one of his colleagues once this presentation has ended. And those notifications will be popping up above our heads there. And with all of that out of the way, we're going to jump right into it with Michael Corgiat.
Thank you, Sam, and thank you everyone for joining us today. I really do appreciate it. Today we're going to talk about the different Caterpillar pension plans. There's essentially three different types or formulas of pension benefits that you can receive. And we'll talk about all three. Your earnings have a big part in one of those formulas. And we'll just share some of our thoughts and guidance on planning and how we might be able to help you in the future. But where is your retirement income going to come from? Well, generally there's four different sources. We call it a four-legged stool. We all hope that Social Security is going to be there for us when we choose to retire. It's just a matter of when we're going to retire and whether we should take our benefits early, which you can do as early as age 62. Full retirement age for most of us is between 66 and 67. And then you've got maximum retirement benefits up to age 70. Savings and investments. I like to say this is probably the most important retirement asset that you will have. What you choose to do for yourself is going to make the difference between an average and an exceptional retirement. More money that you put away, specifically if you put it away in either a tax deductible program that goes tax deferred or a tax-free program, and what I'm talking about is pre-tax 401k versus Roth 401k or Roth IRAs. The more money that you set aside and the better that you invest it, hopefully for growth during your working years, will make the difference between an exceptional retirement and an average retirement. And then finally, pension benefits. For most of the folks I'm talking to today, you do have a pension benefit, which is a blessing because many employers have taken it away, including Caterpillar, or they've minimized it and just glorified their 401k contribution, which in Cat's case they've done as well. So let's go ahead and dive right in. The Caterpillar retirement plan is based on several different factors. We'll do a pension plan overview, talk about eligibility for the plan. Service and salary are both very important factors. And then the credited service formula, which is one of the formulas used for one of the pension plan options. So, CAT pension plan overview. Essentially, you are eligible if you were working for Caterpillar prior to January 1st of 2003. You're eligible for the traditional pension plan benefit, which we will talk about. Beginning in 2003, Caterpillar offered the PEP program, the Pension Equity Plan, which is essentially a lump sum benefit that you can receive. Now, you had to elect to take the PEP formula at that time. So in most cases, most of the people I'm talking to and most of the people I am retiring or who are currently eligible for a pension took the traditional formula. But a few folks did take the PEP formula for a lump sum benefit. But essentially, after that, everyone is a traditional pension plan participant. And if you did not elect the PEP benefit, you are automatically elected or enrolled in the traditional pension plan formula. Benefits do accrue Benefit accruals under the plan were frozen as of December 31st, 2010 for all participants are considered sunset participants. If you were hired prior to December 31st of 2002, yes, you are a sunsetter. You attained 40 years of service as of December 31st of 2010, you are a sunsetter. Or you were actively accruing benefits under the plan on December 31st of 2010, you are a pension plan participant. Benefit accruals did get frozen at the end of the year in 2019. So one of the formulas that we're going to talk about, the final average monthly earnings formula, has a lot to do with your average salary between the years of 2010 and 2019. And I'll wait to get to explore that a little bit more here momentarily. But essentially, Caterpillar froze its pension plan altogether at the end of 2019. Nobody is any longer accruing any more pension benefits at all. Now, I'm sure many of you are aware that since Caterpillar did do that, Caterpillar introduced a incentive or an additional contribution to the 401k. They increased the match dollar for dollar up to 6% of pay. And then depending on your age and years of service combined, they are adding an additional 3, 4, or 5% as far as a kind of a profit sharing contribution in addition to your matching contribution. And all these funds are going into your 401k. So they're trying to make up for that frozen benefit. It is great. It's nice to see both your match and that additional contribution that is typically made. You have to be on payroll at the end of the year to get that additional benefit. Things to keep in mind. Caterpillar pension eligibility, it's pretty straightforward. If you were working for the company before December 1st of 2010, you are eligible. If you were working for CAT and then you left payroll and were rehired before January 1st of 2011, as you can see here, it's only a 1-year period of time. Again, you are eligible for a pension plan. Now, many of you came to Caterpillar through some kind of prior employer that was more than likely bought or merged with Caterpillar. You will want to check with the Caterpillar Benefits Center to just confirm what sort of pension benefit that you do have and what formulas that you are covered under. Pension eligibility, traditional age 65 with 5 years of participation in the plan. That's for a normal retirement benefit. If you have no minimum age or 30 years of service, you are also eligible for an early retirement benefit, which starts at age 62 and goes all the way down to age 55. Another age 55 to 59 with 15 years of credited service. You're 55 or older with plus your vested service. If it equals 85, you're also eligible for early retirement. And then finally, age 60 or older with 10 or more years of service. This is for the newer pension plan benefit for early retirement. A lot of different numbers here. For the most of you, you already know whether you're eligible or not because you've been checking, all right? Most of the folks that I talk to do know that they're eligible for minimally the newer program. Your salary and your years of service are obviously key. It has everything to do with one of the formulas, your salary does, but service across the board. The credited service formula is just that, credited service under the credited service formula pension plan calculation. And that is what I like to call the older pension plan. Years of service is pretty much the same thing, okay? But years of service is how service is utilized or used in the calculation for the final average monthly earnings formula, or what I like to call the newer pension plan. And then vested service, in most cases, you are 100% vested if you were hired prior to the year 2008. If you were hired after 2008, you had to be on payroll for 3 years to be vested in your pension benefit. If you left during that 3-year period of time, you got nothing. Let's talk about, as I called, the older pension plan, which is the credited service formula. The years and months of service, up to 40 years of service and beyond, are used in the calculation of the older pension plan benefit. Now, there is a basic pension rate, which is $43 and change, plus a supplemental pension rate, which does get modified. As I remember, the highest one was another additional $7 in addition to the basic pension plan rate. Those two numbers times your number of years of service will equal a monthly benefit amount. All right, this is again the older pension plan calculation, your years and months of credited service times these two factors added together equal your single life annuity, and all other pension options or benefit options are going to dovetail off of that. The final monthly earnings formula is just that. Your employer, Caterpillar, is going to look at your service from 2010 to the end of 2019, that 10-year period of time. There is no more, they do not look at your salary beyond the end of 2019. Obviously, you're still earning a salary in 2020 and beyond, but they're going to look at your average monthly earnings during that 10-year period of time. They're going to take the best 5 years of those 10 years, the best 5 years. They may not be consecutive years because, as we all know, some years you get a good STIP award, your incentive payment. In some years you didn't, and in some cases you didn't get anything at all. So they're going to look at the best 5 years of the 10 years of service out of those 120 months, and they're going to take an average of those best 5 years. That average is then used in the calculation to also determine a single life annuity. So here we've got someone who's 62 years of age. They're going to be eligible for 100% of their benefit. They are not retiring early. I'll talk about that here momentarily. Maximum number of years of service is 35. Even if you've got more than 35 years of service, this formula, the newer formula, only looks at 35 years. And let's say hypothetically you've got an average monthly earnings of $4,000 a month, 35 years times 1.5% per year equals 52.5%. That's the maximum benefit that you can receive with the maximum number of years of service. And in this case, that percentage is applied to the average monthly earnings. And what you see here now is a $2,100 per month benefit. So if you are eligible under both plans, the older plan and the newer plan, a calculation is going to be made under both plans. And you're going to be eligible for the greater of the two of them. In some cases, there will be some of you who are only eligible under the newer plan. And the calculation will be made on what your pension will be only under the newer plan. I hope I'm not confusing you, but in most cases, the older timers, the folks that I'm talking to now who have got 37 or 40 or 42 years of service, know that they are eligible under the old plan as well as the new plan. So again, the single life annuity is determined at that time. And you saw under my two examples, we had an $1,800 a month benefit and a $2,100 a month benefit. Same individual, that could have been their calculation. They're obviously going to get the $2,100 a month. There is one annuity option under the credited service program, the older plan, where you will get 100% of the single life annuity and your spouse will get a 55% survivor benefit. Under the newer formula, all of the benefits that are payable to which, in other words, if you decide to take something other than the single life annuity, which is the maximum monthly benefit that you can receive, you choose to take a benefit option that provides your spouse with 50% or 75% or even 100% of your benefit, you're going to take a reduction. Now, the minimum is 50%. You could take a benefit that is essentially 10% smaller to provide a benefit to your spouse of 50% of that amount. If you do joint and 75%, you're going to get about 85 cents on the dollar to provide 75% of that to your spouse. And then finally, a joint and 100% option, you're going to get essentially 80 cents on the dollar of that single life annuity. Your spouse will get 100% of that same benefit if they predecease you. One thing I want to point out is if your spouse does predecease you and you chose a survivor option, your benefit will pop up to the single life annuity amount. Again, if they predecease you. You can name a contingent annuity beneficiary. You can also do a years of certain period certain benefits. A lot of folks that are single or they were never married, their spouse is gone, can take a smaller single life annuity amount and they could choose a 10, 15, or a 20-year period certain. So if they happen to die prior to the end of that period certain, their beneficiaries will get the balance of those payments, meaning your children or your grandchildren or a significant other. And then finally, the PEP benefit is a lump sum only. None of what I've talked about as far as monthly annuity benefits are, you don't get both. You're not eligible for that if you've chosen the PEP benefit. You got to keep in mind all of your annuity options are going to be affected by inflation. There is no cost of living built into your pension plan. So if you're going to get $5,000 a month today, 20 years from now, you're also going to get $5,000 a month. There's no cost of living. It's just like any fixed income benefit. And what you do for yourself, i.e. what I talked about earlier, your 401k, IRAs, other investments, income earning property, small businesses that you're doing, that is going to supplement your income needs, and that will also help you to minimize the effects of inflation on your frozen pension benefit. Keeping in mind, declining interest rates have an impact on investments. Rising interest rates also have an impact on investments. It's just a discussion that we can have in the future, and obviously I would look forward to the opportunity of doing that with you. A lot of Americans don't have a plan at all prior to age 50, okay? They don't have a written plan. Take advantage of an opportunity for someone like us to put together a retirement cash flow analysis. When you work with an advisor, first and foremost, do they understand your pension? Do they understand your 401k and your healthcare benefits? We have been working with Caterpillar for years, and we've got a very good understanding of all of their benefits. Are they working with a team? All of us work as a team here at the Retirement Group and the Wealth Enhancement Group. What value do they offer? Okay, that's what you're going to wind up paying for. Do they understand everything that's going on in your life? Can they offer guidance and advice outside of managing your investments? And that's really how we all get paid, by managing retirement assets. Do they offer a detailed retirement plan? Well, yes, we do. It's complimentary. Let us put one together for you and keep it up to date. Why would you want to consider us? Well, guys like myself and my colleagues, we've got a lot of experience. We've got offices nationwide. I've got a very good understanding of your Caterpillar pension benefits, your 401k, and so on. And so do many of my colleagues. And we do offer that complimentary program. So do take advantage of us, of it, and us too. You could call us. You could send us an email and ask for that retirement cash flow analysis. You could scan this QR code here on the left and schedule a meeting with myself or one of my colleagues. Definitely scan the QR code on the right too, and you could follow us on LinkedIn, which we have a great LinkedIn page. Lots of good information. We also keep our future webinar schedules up there as well. So again, scan both of them and follow the where they go. Again, I do strongly recommend that you follow us on LinkedIn. We do provide a lot of information there. I've said an awful lot about your pension plan. I would look forward to the opportunity to talking with you, putting together a retirement cash flow analysis, explaining your pension benefits to you, which plan makes more sense than the others. I didn't really talk about early retirement discussions, but that is something else that we can talk about as well. I really appreciate everyone's time today. Thank you and have a great day.